smashed collarbone, 3 pieces, right?
I've realised most of the things that I love about motorcycling, other people do too. Cool bikes, epic tracks, finding a camp spot, meeting new people, and talking about motorcycles in magnificent locations. I've been to countless motorcycle events in my life, so I figure it's high time we created our own. New bikes, old bikes, dirt bikes, and adventure bikes. Whatever you ride, it's just nice to meet new people and share some of what we've learned from decades of off-road competition.
Welcome, VIP legends, everyone that rode across from the other side of the country, flew in, trailered a bike, whatever. You are our VIP guests, and thanks for signing up to Grubbo's Trail and Track. This guy needs no introduction. I think it's pretty cool that he's actively stayed in the game and passing on all his skills and knowledge to anyone that wants to become not just a better rider but a safer rider at all levels.
Morning and welcome everyone. I won't ramble on too much because I'd rather get into the good stuff out there on the bikes, but the main one is today there's not only me, there's a handful of us here that are pretty switched on with what we're doing on motorbikes, so don't hesitate to ask. Questions is how you're going to learn. There's no silly questions in my opinion, so don't hesitate to ask because I can't read your minds. Most importantly, today is about learning. Like, I'd rather see you leave here learning 1 or 2 things that are what I believe are your weaknesses to help you become a better, safer, enjoy your riding more. And most of all, just take it easy.
I guess it's knowing what to practice and what to be aware of. How quickly your bike's going to slow down, how much suspension travel you're going to have when you've got a full tank full of luggage versus low tank, no luggage. You should try and treat today as time to think about exactly, get to know your bike to a level that you're probably otherwise not to this point. You've probably just so much work and stress, you don't even have time to think about the bike. You just turn the key and f*** off. I'm just riding. But you're not thinking about your actual riding. Whereas take this time to really get your head around your own bike. And once you start to understand your bike, you'll start to understand how much your body position affects it. If you're gonna lock one thing in to survive off-road, is teaching yourself not to freeze when something's there. Whether it's a kangaroo jumping out, logs appeared, rut, anything that you're just not equipped for, you feel you're not equipped for, and your body just does this shock thing where you just freeze and do nothing.
It's really satisfying to see riders absorb what you're saying and translate words into action. When riders become more animated and purposefully execute techniques, they can surprise themselves with immediate progress on the bike. As our VIP guests revel in the coaching, back at camp, our MC and special guest have arrived to entertain the main group of muster guests upon their arrival.
By the way, Jeff Leask, everyone. Quick round of applause for one of our superstar special guests here this week. Adam was telling me there's quite a few guys that have never ridden off-road, and today we're having a bit of a skid.
Yeah, that's what we love. This environment's perfect, right? It's good terrain, and being around the industry all my life, it's so cool when you see people getting in for the first time, and having people like Ben Grabham here to, I guess, get people started off on the right foot, because like when you're getting started, it's like, who do you turn to? Who do you ask your mate, or, having someone like Ben here to really give you that really first class advice and tuition is awesome, so props to Adam and obviously Ben for doing what they do. Just the passion that people have, people riding 4,600 kilometres, to be here this weekend. It's just incredible. It's a really super cool culture. People, Austin from Texas. Wow, that says it all.
Always good to see you here, Leesky. I'll see you back here very shortly. We're going to talk very soon about your connection with Adam and with Grabbo, because it's a really great story that goes right back.
And yeah, we like to throw in some dirt bike entertainment around the arena. So we're having a little practice session for tomorrow's Gymkhana. Grabbo and myself on the petrol bikes, Lewis and Carson on the electric bikes. And let's not forget the motorcycle everyone has come to see.
My first year in Europe, I was actually first Australian to win a Grand Prix motocross race in Finland in 1989. That year I was kind of in the running for the World Championship. I had, unfortunate luck in the first round. I wouldn't say luck, because, in racing you make your own luck. We ran out of gas in the first race while leading it. Yeah, that was a bit of a hit for the season. It wouldn't really have, in the end, made the difference in points, but it certainly, when you start the first round behind the 8 ball, it doesn't help, I guess. But yeah, we finished second in the world title that year, and second year things didn't really play out as well. We still won a Grand Prix, but yeah, they were all amazing experiences, and blessed to be able to have done what I've done.
There's a great connection between the three of you that we're getting towards here now. It was an interesting sort of tie-up in the timeline of how you guys all work on, particularly with Grabbo as well.
I'll just dial back to that first meeting in Welshpool, where I had worked my way up through the enduro ranks in WA, and I was on a race plan with Gav at Motorcycle City, and I'd got the 200 EXCs, and I was winning a lot of club enduros and top 3 in the state, and pretty much had no money, and just riding the wheels off these bikes and doing everything, the quick start motocrosses at Wanneroo and Coastal, and racing all the Pony Expresses, racing the whole enduro championship. And after 2 years of that, I think Gav just went to you and said, "Him, I can't sell these bikes, they're just wrecked, I'm not sponsoring him again." And Leesky just it was a real turning point. It was a bit of I'm either just going to forget this racing thing and go work on the mines, or I don't know, I just was a bit lost. And then Leesky's just like, "Here, take this 125 SX and go and race." And I was actually my first ever manufacturer sponsorship. And I don't know, something happens when people put that level of belief in you, and I just went and smoked the WA State Enduro Championship on a 125 SX. There was just a motocross bike that was new and had the 5-speed gearbox. It was the last thing you should be riding in the bush, but it just worked, and I was hungry, and I just thought, I'm going to do this. And yeah, for 2 years in a row, Jeff supported me with all the, and then that boat anchor 250 XCF come in. Remember that sleeve down 400? It might have been heavy, but it was slow. Remember that one? And then I rode
it was just a test to see how good you were.
And then I rode a different model every round, just because that's, you would just give me these bikes, and I did. I went back to back WA Enduro champion, which in the grand scheme of things was nothing, but it was a big deal from that, that young kid swinging off the back of that RM80, never ridden a bike before, just freaking out, to actually getting supported by a manufacturer. And thanks to Jeff, just, I think riders look after riders, and that's the biggest thing with Jeff's position with KTM. He's not a corporate business guy. I had to learn that. He's a racer through and through races, and so he could pick a rider that wanted to do good things from a mile away. And while my stuff, it started out as racing, and I thought, well, that's it, and the next move is to go to the East Coast. I did, but when I went there, I was just mid-pack nobody and just stand in line, and obviously all the sponsorship fell away, but it didn't matter because I went straight into media. And then fast forward a bit, I'd learnt the game, I'd started a YouTube channel, and back in Leesky's office probably, a decade later, going, "Mate, I need a couple of 500 EXCs at the factory. and I'm going to ride to the pyramids. But it was almost like they just never said no. Well, Jeff never seemed to say no to anything. It's like, all right, well, we gave you some bikes, you did this. You said you were going to do that, you did that. And now you're going to ride 500 EXCs, 7,000 Ks across Europe. And I don't know, by then you'd learnt the game. You were a numbers man.
Well, there was a method in my madness, and this is 100% true. KTM had a reputation that of not being so reliable, and I thought that by you doing what you were doing unsupported, riding these distances on the bike, would strengthen our reputation, or KTM's reputation at that time, for reliability, and I believe that it actually did.
I don't know, it was adventure before I even knew what adventure was. We did it on enduro bikes in motocross gear with just shit slapped on, and for me it was just all a film project, and it had to be racing. It had to be on race bikes.
But it was genuinely unsupported, which I think, at the time was impressive. And I think filming it like you did film it, you obviously did all that with drones and all sorts of things, and the way that you did it was just incredible, to be honest. And so, yeah, it was exciting times. It was, and yeah.
Sometimes there's a perfect storm. And you were great mates with Grabbo, you watched him ride, of course, you guys had a lot of time together in the industry, and you're looking around at this time to reinvent yourself as a creator of content. You were a pretty handy artist back in the day as well. Not so big on public speaking, wasn't a big fan of that sort of stuff, but thought, my articles are going well in ADB, I'm a journalist, I'm doing well with that, but the website's not getting any traction, I've got to do something different here, I'll try this newfangled thing called YouTube. I might grab some bloke called Grabbo and a few boys to learn how to make content. Is that the way it kind of worked out?
Yeah, sort of. I wanted the racing and the opportunities that I had to race Erzberg, to race Fink, to race the Australian Safari. It was all media driven. I got these gigs on some of the biggest events in the world as a media guy, and I just took it any way I could get it. And there's like, yeah, you got to deliver a story, and there's photographers out there taking the shots, and I just created this signature of telling stories from the saddle. And it was before the digital, before the video, and before the YouTube and the Instagram and the social media. But one of the biggest experiences, I was a guest rider on the KTM team once again. Thanks to Jeff, it was the Australian Safari in 2007. Anyway, they built this bike up for me. It was a bit of a, slapped together rally bike, but it was just an EXC with a big tank. Long story short, I've fumbled my way into the top 10, and then by the last few days, I'd pushed through to the top 5. And in the meantime, I'd nearly blown up this 450. And Ben, do you remember that stage? Oh, and just splitting tyres in half and shredding moose, and anyway, the two riders that were on the KTM team, strangely enough, I ended up in front of them. So I went from the media guy that they were just like, just stand in line, buddy, to now like using all their resources. We'll keep this guy going. He's actually going all right. And anyway, it was day 8. I'd worked out rally, I'd worked to use a road book, I'd learnt to navigate, and I was scared shitless because you're riding faster than you want to be. I happened to be winning this 450 production class and moving up. It was like, just keep going. Meanwhile, Benny's winning outright for Honda, and I'll never forget it. It was a stage that was a shorter stage. It was probably only 150 k's long. And that's a long way to be riding as fast as you can through the desert. But that was a little stage. They were as big as 350, 400 k's. But I remember coming into the end, and the choppers would, if you're up the sort of front of the field, the choppers would be around, and they'd follow you. You knew you were on Channel 10 then. You know what I mean? It's like, and you'd just go that bit harder. And I've come into the end of this stage, and the choppers just checked out a bit and then peeled around. It's landing. What's going on here? And anyway, I pull up, and there's Benny. He's with the medics, jumped straight out of the chopper. It was almost like, oh, your race is over. Just, we'll get him in the chopper, we'll get him out of here. He'd smashed his collarbone. 3 pieces smashed collarbone. And in all my years of riding, I've come across a few injuries, you know, out in the bush, and people with a broken finger, a broken collar, broken something, and it's like just calming them down to you'll be all right. Can you just sit up? If they're pretty tough, they might get back on the bike and like, come on, let's just get back to the car. And so the whole mindset of everyone was just like, oh, we should probably get this guy in the chopper while it's here and just get him out of here. And his bike's just and his race was over. Bike's went up over the tree and gears over there, and they're just surrounding him. And he just kind of looked at me and got away for 30 seconds, luckily. And he goes, mate, get my Camelback and just help me put it on. So he stripped down to a jersey, and we get his Camelback on. He goes, go get my helmet. And I went and picked up his helmet, and I didn't even really, we were just working quickly, right? He gets the helmet on, and I go to put his goggles on to look at him, and I just had to tip all the gravel out of his goggles. He'd properly smashed his face, big multiple end for end in the desert. It's high speed stuff, right? And next thing, he goes, the boys have put too much work into this. I'm not pulling out. And he's talking about the Honda team, his mechanic and everyone. And I thought, he's just doing this. And no one at that stage, no one really had the authority to just tell him no. It was just happening. And he gets on the start line, the thing's lifted up, just clicking gears and gone. And I thought, 3 riders later, I've taken off. And this stage was just creek bed, G out after G out, high speed, 100 k an hour, hits, creek bed, boof, boof. And I just any minute expected to see poor old Benny just bike on the stand, sitting down, just bring that chopper, I'm done. Didn't you catch and pass Jacob Smith in that stage? So the guy that was just in range of him in second place because of the crash got in front of him, and Benny with his smashed collarbone is just like, not on my watch. And when we got into the end of the stage, you still won that stage, did you not? Anyway, long story short, we get into 2J, I think this was day 8. We'd raced for 8 days from Kununurra, just high speed, crazy rally all through the outback. Benny extended his lead, and we beat the race team. We get to this oval, and there's just 5 of us sitting on those, those copper log oval poles with no food, no water, just waiting for the whole race teams to show up. And I remember I had this soggy, warm protein bar, choc protein bar in my pocket, and Benny and I were just sitting on the log, and we shared the protein bar, and I said, give us a look at that thing. And I peeled his jacket back, and all I remember was seeing was this big purple ring from around his neck down to his chest, and in the centre of that ring looked like broken glass trying to push out of his skin. This is a motorcycle savage here, like you talk about gritting your teeth and getting on with it, but what the hell was going on in your...
Unfortunately, I've done that probably too many times that I like. But no, like you said, it's the preparation. It's anyone that's same. I'm learning more in business. Everything that he put in so much effort for so long and so hard work, and you surround yourself with good people that I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to let myself down, and yeah, it was pretty much like you said. I just had to. I'm there. I'm in the middle of it all. I've got a day and a half to go, and if I can still walk and do something, I'll give it a good crack. And I think my plan was, you fed me up that night and tried to keep it a bit quiet. I remember staying in my riding gear because I was too friggin' sore to get out of it, and then we still had another day to finish off getting to Perth, and when you do finish something like that, it makes it pretty damn worthwhile. And when I say that, like I was injured and that, I always say to the young people that now I wasn't doing anything silly. Like at the first moment when I done it, my arm went numb, and that's when I think it was actually you that took my jacket off and blood come into my arm. Like, I'm good, I can do this stuff. So like if I feel like I can physically do something without dropping dead there, I'll give it a good crack, and that's what it was.
He told me this bike gets a bad rap because most people just ride to the coffee shops on it. It's the BMW R1300 GS adventure bike. And this is all about travelling light on a big bike, and that's Adam's complete focus on what he wants to talk about today, and just I think he's redefining in a lot of ways what adventure riding, go on, hit it, clear the muster shed, Rimo, we'll back you. Listen to it purr. That put a little tickle in a little Remo, didn't it? I know how this is working. So, give us a bit of a rip on this bike I know you love so incredibly much.
I just wanted people to hear and feel the sheer size of this behemoth, but I do feel like I have to at least jump that log over there.
Guys, look, they've all come to life! Up on your feet if you want him to send it!
I've always said, adventure is in the heart of the beholder. But strangely enough, people want to know how I go about it. So I'm showing them.
Three, two, one. All right, we're off. Bear in mind they've got to cross over.
Okay, time for some afternoon racing. Teams of 2, petrol versus electric, and each team must exchange rider position before the finish line.
hold it.
Now we're away. Right, now we'll do. Good air. Nice air. Oh, look at the clearance. Holy cow. Close. Look at Ray. 47. Hold on, Ray. Here we go. Second bike, and no! That was a 53. A 50. Do you want to have one more crack at it? 53. Remo, you want to have one more go? Go. And go. We're off. Ray's even filming the fossil bikes. Equal opportunity employer, Ray. Ooh, Grabbo. Lost a bit of time there. Look for the crossover here. There it is. They were previously a 1 minute .3. This looks better from Riemann. How good does Grabbo look on a bike, by the way? Just so good, isn't he? So smooth. Oh, definitely button right off. We're at 43 here. This is much better. Now remember, the time stops on Adam's bike. This is much quicker. Here we go, and 55.15. 55.15. Way better.
2 seconds.
All right, boys, you ready on the e-bikes? One more for the kids. We're off.
Whoa.
Lewis on his birthday. Jeff on his 40th wedding anniversary. I didn't check, are they on the IRA bikes, Ray? I didn't check they are. If you look at the number plates, one of them's IRA. Here's the pass, the swap over. Where are we at? 25 seconds to there. Oh, they look smooth. Oh, wow, that was interesting. Formula 1 team orders. So Carson's gone back to the front. Here we go. Clear it, clear it. Oh!
Legendary. Let's have it. Legendary.
56.
Come on.
Woo! Congratulations, Carson. You are the owner of a brand new e-bike.
That was epic.
That's going to break the internet.
That's going to break the internet.
Holy cow, Carson. Those Pirelli flags are tough, mate.
Good times, great vibes with good people. People that have come from all over Australia and even the world.
I'm just really blown away by the fact that you would come all this way to hang out with us and be a part of this, mate. It's awesome, and it's lovely to meet you too.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's wonderful coming down here, experiencing this trip with every one of you. I have been welcomed by all of you and felt at home. This has been a wonderful trip, and this means a lot to me. Thank you.
When I saw you out on the trail on Grabbo's bike, just up the hills and pretty much just getting it done, I thought, what were you even worried about? You've been killing it out there, my friend.
I thought I was a legend, so...
This is the full, rackless, soft luggage, and then, once you've fitted it, you have to punch that GS through Central Australia. And then you will be a legend.
Alright, yeah.
I'm so grateful to be supported by the best brands in the business and be able to share the love with passionate people who support what I do.
Everyone here, I think the thing that blew me away the most is how open and friendly everyone was, and accepting and welcoming to get me out there. First real ride with a group for sure. Training was fantastic. Just the whole event has been mind-blowing and definitely the highlight of my year. And I wouldn't have even been here or even been thinking about this except for Adam coming and finding him on YouTube and seeing his enthusiasm and the beautiful places he's been. Just gives me so much inspiration to get out there and to do the same.
As you get on a motorcycle, and I'm a builder by trade,
yep.
And I tend to be able to just forget about everything,
yep.
And just concentrate on me. So it feeds my soul in a really positive way. I feel great when I get off the bike.
Just clear the mind from the everyday rat race of the world, I suppose, with families and business and whatever else. And it's just, yeah, it's no better feeling really to just do it.
Following Adam on YouTube for a wee while now, and before I actually came over from New Zealand, I was following him through and through. I've got a bike back home, but made the plan to come over here.
Yep.
And yeah, as soon as I learnt about the Warhorse Muster, I was like, yes, I'm going. Bought the tickets. I believe I actually got them just before I got my bike, if not just after I got my bike.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've just been hanging out ever since to come here for the weekend. Haven't been to something like this before, only just a bit of a casual with mates, and yeah, loved every moment of it.
Probably should have done this about 3 runs ago.
It's what the people wanted, and we gave it to them.
Once the wire started coming through, there's sparks and shit
flying out
through the smoke.